Hello my friends, Russell Wright from networkempire.com and themezoom.com. Today I'm going to reveal two case studies dealing with website silo architecture, post-panda, post-penguin, and all that hoopla. I've never revealed these case studies before, and I have to keep the website's names under wraps to protect the owners of the sites, but I wanted to at least cover this for those of you who've been with us for many years. One of these case studies was revealed to me by Sue Bell. We're going to talk about what is website silo architecture very quickly for those of you who may not know. Yep, we're still pounding our drum about website silo architecture because it ain't going to change anytime soon. And when I say it's not going to change, all kidding aside, I'm really talking about the fact that it uses the web hierarchy, the actual natural process of web hierarchy, in order to help the search engine spiders understand what the keyword and keyword clusters are in a website, thus making it easier to rank by the dozen. It's cheaper by the dozen when it comes to keywords using this structure. And as far as we've tested, there's been no changes within this infrastructure. We have a lot of new social things happening with the Google circles, the Google Plus circles, and marketing with social and personalized results. But we've got that covered inside the networkempire.com members area, where we teach you how to do what's called social website silo architecture and SEO social architecture combined, and website silo SEO website silo architecture combined. Since it would take too long to explain SEO website silo architecture, we'll explain what it gives you for those of you who are new. It helps you rank higher for hundreds of keywords using up to 90% fewer inbound links than your competition. Helps your visitors find topics more easily, so it's both for the human world and the machine world. And it helps the search engines confirm and double confirm what your site is really about. Now, we've been beating this drum for almost 5 years, so I'm not going to get into it too much. If you want more information, please do type in silouniversity.com. It's going to forward you to our wiki page, which is all about website silo architecture. It's our wall of geekdom about this, including videos that we feel are related to it, even some discussions with Matt Cutts about theming and all these different things. But let's jump right to the case studies. Removing silos. I'm not going to get into this too much, but I had to do a controlled demolition of a blog, and it was very helpful to do this because I took the opportunity when I removed some of the silo structures, that is, I changed the linking structure around. I dropped from 27,000 impressions down to less than a quarter of that very, very quickly. And it wasn't just removing the site around and messing things up, it was actually related to the way that the silos were developed, and it was pretty major. So you can see that the structure left a huge impact. You can see that I dropped from 27,000 impressions to just slightly below 1,000 at one point, and then it moved below 500. I can get in all the details of this, but it was directly related to the removing of the silos, which is why you want to have the appropriate infrastructure and the appropriate length, the appropriate structure and hierarchy within your site. Pretty powerful stuff. The removal of this pre-planned theme silo structure, which was researched in Kraken Domain Web Studio and the last keyword tool early on, and Sue Bell was part of that, resulted in a massive drop of impressions for entire clusters and themes, and difficult time ranking for large clusters due to lack of silos as we try to get traction back for that particular site. Okay, let's move on to case study number 2, adding silos. How did Penguin affect the solid silo structured website? I would love to be able to give you the actual name of this site because it's a beauty to behold. It's very, very large. It's a real-time news curation site. Based on a large news site where we consulted with the owner in incorporating silo architecture into his large structure. The site is privately owned, so we really can't get into the direct URL. I really wish we could. I'm still waiting for permission. And let me just go ahead and look at that. Here's a basic overview. This is one of many screen captures. This was sent over to me by Sue Bell. The organic search traffic only is what we're dealing with. This is out of Webmaster Tools. This segment looks at new visitors the first time in this frame. So the first 2 months of this new silo structure, this is after Sue Bell and myself consulted on this site to change the infrastructure. I do not recommend that you work on a site of this size without professional help. And again, this was a consulting gig that we had. You can watch the jump of the site from 75 average of unique visitors per day, jumping to 2,500 visitors per day. This is new visitors. This is a really important report. You can see that this is an example of how just restructuring the site a little bit can get massive exposures and ultimately click-throughs and visitors if you use the right silo architecture. Now, developers cost a fortune. I mean, that consulting gig that this gentleman picked up from myself and my partner Sue Bell was not cheap. How can you incorporate website silo architecture without hiring expensive web developers? Well, we created an awesome research software called Domain Web Studio. It allows you to research the ultimate keyword silos for your site. This has been our dream, to be able to make it feasible and profitable for SEOs and online consultants like you to be able to do that. That is here, Domain Web Studio. You can visit us at networkempire.com. You can avoid this domain because this domain no longer works for that. Go to networkempire.com, where you will now have access to the Domain Web Studio application. How can you incorporate website style architecture without hiring developers? Well, you can also use a WordPress plugin. We created an awesome XML output. If you don't use a WordPress blog, then use our XML output available at the end of the Domain Web Studio process. Allows you to instantly export your research from Domain Web Studio into a website or blog. And this is the website Silo Builder Kit. It's available at siloblogbuilder.com, but also if you purchase the Domain Web Studio application, you can visit networkempire.com, and there's a one-time installation for this plugin or one-time purchase fee, but this will be available for you. We have amazing tools. Visit us at networkempire.com if you want to learn the entire process. Nothing like this has ever been built before. It's the process of beginning to end of researching vertical themes, clustering them together to rank higher for far fewer inbound links, planning your whole business decision theory around the topic or the market, and then building that entire process out into your business model. Very, very, very cool stuff. Just wanted to give you this case study because many of you have been asking for it. We're also waiting to be able to provide you with the exact URLs of some of these privately owned sites. We really look forward to seeing you on the inside, where all of our mad scientists have been working for the last 2 years at great cost to ourselves to develop tools that pretty much any intermediate, even basic SEO can use. Even if you're a beginner starting out, you can still begin to grab these correct, right practices and these best practices early on. You'll never have seen these systems anywhere before together, and I look forward to showing them to you step by step at the networkempire.com members area and software system. Russell Wright from the Network Empire team, signing off.